Our next stop in returning to Spirit Halloween's past, 2007, by request, Ghoulies. This is the Voina experience. What's happening, Ghoulies? Welcome back to the Voina experience. Thank you guys so much for joining us on Tier List Tuesday. That's right, Ghoulies, it's time for another tier list ranking of Spirit Halloween animatronics, and this time we have been requested by the Spirit Halloween Wikia site admin. Cole Walker wants us to take a trip back to 2007, one of the more classic years of Spirit Halloween's animatronic past. And I've got Frankenstein here with me. Not from 2007 and not from Spirit, but still a classic looking animatronic to help set the mood for us guys on tiermaker.com. So we're gonna head over there right now and see what our animatronics are gonna be for this ranking. And they are animated hanging clown, dancing clown, kicking legs, mad scientist spirit ball, rising from the grave grim reaper, Spasm, talking clown head, animated hanging ghoul, face-changing reaper, ghost girl with head, haunted chandelier, illuminated mummy, and the 2007 life-size Jason Vorhees. So, Ghoulies, we got a really nice list of about 13 animatronics here, and we are going to head over to tiermaker.com and rank them for you guys. Alright, Ghoulies, so here we are on tiermaker.com. You see our traditional awesome to know ranking and our 13 animatronics right down here in the bottom for you. So the first one on our list, Ghoulies, is going to be a home hitter to start with, Spasm. Now, Ghoulies, this is a fan favorite animatronic for sure. Very popular over the years. Just this creepy looking inmate looking dude who's all strapped up in a straitjacket with bug eyes and this wide mouth. And he just sits there and he shakes at you and makes really creeping sounds. Ultimately not like an overly impressive animatronic as far as movement goes. But guys, this is an unsettling animatronic for sure. And I think because of the fact that it's very unsettling, creepy, and a huge fan favorite from Spirit Halloween, I think we're obviously going to go ahead and put Spasm right here in our top awesome category, starting things off with a huge bang for you, Ghoulies. All right, and then that brings us then to this, the talking clown head. Now, this one, you guys, is, you know, it's cool. It's just this head that sits there, and it's a clown head, and it's got a lot of neat little funny phrases. My only thing about it, guys, is that the phrases were really short. They were just quick little 4 or 5 words, you know, like, hello there, guys, and then that was it. Like, they were just really fast, short phrases, and ultimately didn't do much anything else other than that. So because it's a clown, we love clowns, but I don't think the phrases were all that impressive, but it is, you know, it is something that I do like. Can't say I hate it or anything. So I think the talking head clown is just going to sit comfortably right here in our like category for sure. Bringing us then to the haunted chandelier, Ghoulies. Now this is a pretty cool animatronic. Just a chandelier. It's not a monster or a creature or anything, and it basically just hangs and swings around. But, you know, it's creative. It's different, a very classic haunted house look, and especially for this time area, I think it was a really neat and impressive animatronic for sure. You know, I won't go as far as to say that it's an overly awesome and crazy cool animatronic, but it is one that I think I definitely liked from the season. Just because of the fact that it was something different. You know, it's not like a monster, not like a, you know, it's not a creature. It was just something different, something new and fresh for its time. Of course, now we're used to such things, but for its time, and that's what we're ranking for its time. All right, Ghoulies. Next up here is this mad scientist spirit ball. Now, this is pretty neat, you guys. Ultimately, it's not like a big flashy animatronic like Frank here, but it was this crystal ball that had this head inside it that was kind of different and unique, and set itself apart, I think, because of that fact. And you could really put it anywhere you want. It didn't have to be in a haunt. It could be any sort of decoration. So Ghoulies, I think because of the diversity, the uniqueness, and the fact that it just kind of stood out, I think that the spirit talking, or the the mad scientist spirit ball is actually kind of awesome because the phrasing was classic sounding. The sound effects were very old-fashioned, and I like the classics a lot, so I'm going to put that one in the awesome category just because. All right, now, Ghoulies, that's going to bring us next up to this ghost girl with head. She's not just a ghost girl, she has a head with her. Guys, this was a very creepy, weird, unsettling, gets under your skin animatronic. It's this ghost girl holding a head, and she has these weird movements kind of, and she just, kind of goes around, and the sound effects were just, like you can see it. I'm getting goosebumps. Look at the goosebumps. I'm getting them from thinking about it. She's creepy, and because I got a physical reaction from a prop that came out like a whole many billions of years ago, she's definitely going into the awesome category for sure. So Ghoulies, like we're starting off pretty good here with 2007. We got nothing but top tier level animatronics coming out. So then let's move on then to Illuminated Mummy. Okay, so this is all right, you guys. Like, it's just this mummy that kind of looks a little bit like an Oscar award. I don't really know. Like, it had a very Oscar award. That's the first thing I saw when I looked at it. The eyes kind of move, and it has like a very strange phrasing. So like, although I like mummies, and I think it's not a bad animatronic for sure, I'm like, it wasn't overly impressive, and I think like it had a lot of room for improvement, so I'm gonna set it right here in our okay tier, just because like it didn't really come across as a scary mummy. It was more like just almost like a parody of one. I don't know, that's just my thought. What do you guys think? Drop us a comment. What do you think about the 2007 animatronics? Are they too, outdated and not as impressive anymore? Or if we're looking back and no, these things really still hold up and we should see some re-releases of some of these guys. All right, next up then is the dancing clown here, Ghoulies. Is this dancing clown jester looking thing. Sort of a clown that comes out of a box and, just sort of moves around. And, it's not a horrible animatronic, but I believe the phrases were very reminiscent to the animated hanging clown over here. So 2 animatronics in the same year had basically the same phrasing, and that kind of takes away from it a little bit just because, like, use something else. And then I do like it coming out of the box. That's pretty cool. The movements were all right. So, like, ultimately, I don't hate this animatronic. I wasn't overly impressed. Even though it is a clown animatronic, I wasn't enthralled with it. So I'm gonna say that dancing clown just kind of goes down here in the okay, just because it's dancing clown. I wanted him to dance maybe a little more. He just kind of, it's okay. And next up here then, Ghoulies, is the 2007 life-size Jason Voorhees. Okay, so here's what I gotta say about the Jason Voorhees. Although the movements and the sound effects are same as the 2011 or 2010, I think it was 2010 or 11, that we had ranked a little bit ago in a previous tier list, and I'll leave a link to that video down in the description. But I placed that Jason Voorhees on the top tier, but that's because mostly of how he looked. This Jason looks a little weird and a little weak. It's almost basically like they put a Spirit Halloween Jason costume on a mechanical device. Like, it didn't seem like there was much design into his look, whereas the 2010 or 11 one had a much more movie-esque look to it, looked a little more licensed, it had a better swing. The machete on this one looks very weird. So although I love Jason, and I like the animatronic, and I like the sound effects, and I think it's cool, this particular version of it, though, Ghoulies, for me, was just okay, and that's mainly because of how it looks. It just looked like a fake toy, you know what I mean? I can't explain it other than that. The animated hanging ghoul. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you, Ghoulies, as far as the hanging props go, I'm not exactly sure why these got grouped in as far as animatronics are concerned, because other than the fact that they might have had some hand movement or something, they didn't really do much movement. They are hanging. So they hang there, and they had some sound effects and lights to them, yes, But as far as an animatronic goes, I don't really see this as an animatronic. It's a hanging prop. And because of that, I wasn't overly impressed with it. I just kind of felt like it's a cool hanging prop, but as an animatronic goes, if we're ranking and sort of comparing the animatronics, this doesn't qualify for me, Ghoulies. So it's kind of like an automatic no, just because it didn't do much in terms of animatronics. It's more hanging. So we're gonna do that and move on. And I'm just gonna go ahead then and say, in conjunction with that, the animated hanging clown sort of gets the same review. And this animated hanging clown, if you listen to the audio on it, Ghoulies, sounds awfully reminiscent to Slim that came out last season. Now, I know Slim's audio is licensed, but it sounds very similar to this guy, and also was pretty much exactly the same as the Dancing Clown's audio. So there was a lot of like hanging prop, reusing and recycling of the same audio that I just didn't jive with here. And because again, it's a hanging prop and not so much an animatronic, I couldn't tell from the videos if it did much movement. So because of that, guys, this one's also gonna get down on the no. Which proves that I try to be fair. It is a clown animatronic, and I usually give clowns the higher level of voting, but Ghoulies, it just didn't do anything for me, so it's a no. Now that moves us on here then, guys, to the Kicking Legs animatronic. Guys, this was a lot of fun. I'm not gonna go on here and say that this is an awesome animatronic because, you know, it ultimately is just a pair of legs that kick. But think about the time that these had come out, and you think about the multiple uses of such an animatronic. You can really put it anywhere, and you could really have it effective pretty much in any decor or haunt that you have. I think this makes it an interesting animatronic. Not gonna go and say it's awesome, but I for sure want to put the Kicking Legs up here in the likes because that is a unique prop. It's different, fun, and very diverse. So I think it deserves at least second tier. Oh, that Ghoulies, that brings us then to the Rising from the Grave Grim Reaper. And what a tongue like that, and what a long friggin' title. The Rising Reaper from the Grave animatronic. Like, that is a very specific. Rising from the Grave Grim Reaper. I mean, that is a title. That's a title. Rising from the Grave Grim Reaper. Pretty cool though, guys. It's a classic jump scare animatronic, which featured a Reaper laying down, and then it jumps up and scares you with some very classic sounding sound effects. In fact, Ghoulies, if you listen carefully to it, I believe it features the same screaming sound effect that Jumping Spider has playing in its background audio. So, one might say that the Rising from the Grave Grim Reaper, the audio, was sort of like a precursor to the Jumping Spider, and I'm definitely down with that, for sure. So because of all of that nostalgia, guys, I won't go as far as to say this is an awesome animatronic. It is just a rising jump scare, and a very primitive one at that. But it is classic, and I think it at least deserves a second level tier ranking, for sure. Let me know what you think in the comments if you agree with that. And then, Ghoulies, that brings us to our last animatronic that we are going to be ranking, and that is going to be the Face-Changing Reaper. Now, guys, I know what you might be thinking. Essentially, it's a more fancy version of the Tombstone of Terror, which I didn't like, but this proves that you can take something with that concept and make it cool. It's a very classic animatronic, has a very classic sound effect, which I do love and like. Classic looking Reaper, which I really do enjoy, and its face turns and changes, and then turns back, and then does it again. A really good presentation from this animatronic, to say nothing else. The Face-Changing Reaper, for sure, I kind of feel, deserves to kind of be at the top, just because of the fact that it was a primitive animatronic that kind of held its own, you know what I mean? It was creepy, it was classic, and cool at the same time, so I don't really have anything bad to say about it, so that's what we have. All right, Ghoulies, so here you have it, the 13 animatronics from the 2007 Spirit Halloween season. And you see, we kind of have a nice little array of various, hitting all the levels here. But once again, the top 2 tiers are still owning supreme, reaffirming that Spirit Halloween always manages to bring out more good animatronics than not. So we can't fault them, and I'm very much looking forward and excited to seeing what animatronic Spirit is going to be bringing out in the 2024 season. And I certainly hope that since they're making us wait this long, Ghoulies, that they're going to have some awesome stuff. Drop us a comment, let us know what you think of this tier ranking. Make sure that you're hitting that subscribe button and turning on your notifications for more tier ranking videos. Join us next Tuesday as we explore yet another era of Spirit Halloween's past and rank some more animatronics right here on the Voina Experience. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, I will catch you later, Ghoulies.